If you ride a motorcycle and you're not riding with earplugs currently, you need to change that right now. What's up, guys? It's Jonathan with Free Moto. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad to see you today. Today we're going to be kind of debunking some myths about riding with earplugs. Riding with earplugs is something that I do all the time now. As I've grown a little bit older, I'm now 45, getting ready to turn 46. And as I've matured as a rider, as I've grown in wisdom a little bit, I've started to use them all the time when I ride. So we'll kind of go over what it's like to ride with earplugs, why it's so important, and debunk the myths about that some people may have about safety concerns riding with earplugs. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today we'll be riding on the Halcyon 450, Janus Halcyon 450. And I wanted to show you how I carry my earplugs and kind of my everyday kit for just hopping on the motorcycle really fast. So wherever I keep my helmet, I always keep it in the house. But when I keep my helmet, it's all full face helmet. This is my Shark Spartan GT and carbon. And so inside the helmet, I'm going to turn it over. All right, so inside you'll see that I have my gloves. Pull those out. These are my Indy Ridge denim on black leather gloves, and they've been wonderful. Underneath the gloves, and you saw that everything was kind of housed in the helmet, right? So stuff won't really fall out easily because of the way I had it wedged in there. So I had the gloves kind of sealing everything in, and then underneath of that I have this is also from Indy Ridge, but you can get them anywhere. It's like a neck gaiter or a face mask or whatever you can call it. But I want to show you, I'm gonna put my helmet down safely so I can show you how I have this. So what I do is I keep this folded up neatly like that, and as you unfold it, you can see that I have my earplugs inside. And that way I'm not losing my earplugs. They're not loose inside the helmet. They're not in my pocket. They're not inside of a bag somewhere where I can't find them, and you know, I don't have to worry about relying on a case. I just keep these earplugs folded up in this gaiter, because kind of this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these on first, then I'll put on the gaiter, and then I'll put on my helmet, and then I'll put on my gloves, and that's how I do it every time. And that has worked really well for me. So these earplugs, I have tried like the earpiece type, the really fancy ones that you'll see advertisements online, and despite all the good reviews that you'll see from those, they will not stay in my ears. It's almost like trying to ride with earbuds in or something like that. For some reason, they're not the best, and they also don't block any sound, the fancy ones. So these are just basic foam earplugs from Amazon or Walmart. You can buy them, and I'll put a link to where I got them on Amazon. But you kind of see that how they have this unique shape to them, and I'm going to show you how I put them in, because that's also really important. If I just took this earplug and just kind of tried to stuff it in my ear, it really wouldn't. I mean, I'm sure I could jam it in there, but it wouldn't fit to the point where it was effectively protecting my hearing. And so what I do is I take the earplug and I'll kind of roll it between my fingers like that, and I'll even try to roll and compress the end of it as well. All right, so you can see how for just a moment, as you roll the earplug in between your fingers, that it becomes very like this cylindrical shape, right? And that's when you go ahead and place it in your ear. All right, so rolling it, making sure it's compressed, making sure it's somewhat uniform cylindrical shape, and the end doesn't so much have to be, right? but what's going in your ear needs to be. All right, then I'm going to slide it into my ear best I can, and I'm going to twist it a little bit. Just twist it a little bit to kind of lock it into place. And you can see the end of the earplug is actually kind of up against my the inside of my ear there. That's all I do right there. And as I leave it in my ear, the foam will expand away from how I had it, and it will fill my ear. I know this all seems so basic and elementary, but a lot of people don't know how to put in an earplug the correct way. And it's absolutely important and crucial that you do it the right way, so that every time, so that you're protecting your hearing, and so that you can still hear what you need to hear on the roadway. So now we've got the second one. I'll do the same thing. I'm just gonna, roll it between my fingers, my thumb and my pointer finger, until it's ready to go. And if you after you do this a few times, you get pretty good at it. But then real quick, I'm gonna slide it into my ear and just give it a little bit of a turn to kind of lock it into place. Okay, and so there it is in my ear. So the earplugs are protecting my hearing currently. I can feel them filling up inside my ears and blocking my outer ear canal. And so now I'm ready to go. So let's go ahead and get on. We'll talk a little bit more about why riding with earplugs is so good for anyone who's riding. If you ride a motorcycle and you're not riding with earplugs currently, you need to change that right now.
So yeah, the gator is super important. I kind of pulled it down so you can hear me clearly when I speak in the microphone. But super important because it kind of helps to seal it all up. It helps to keep the earplugs in place, and it's just great for putting the helmet on too. It helps to kind of keep your ears folded up when you're pulling the helmet down, and that really is helpful for me as well, so that like my ears don't get folded under the helmet. I don't know if you've ever had that happen. I'm just leaving a dentist appointment today. Always good to keep up with your teeth and your oral hygiene. So every time that I ride, and every time I'm recording these videos with you guys for the channel, I have earplugs in. And a real big reason that I started using earplugs, even though, I've really tried to make sure that my full face helmet is the most quiet one that you can buy, and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure I could probably find a quieter helmet. The problem is, it's kind of impractical, because if you buy a expensive helmet like a Shoei or a Schuberth, that all the reviews say how quiet it is, and then you actually get one and you don't feel like it's that quiet, well, guess what? You're out, $500-600, or $700 or $800 or $900 or $1,000, depending on what you bought. Schuberth is very expensive, and Shoeis can be really expensive too. So, but when you're riding with earplugs, it's incredible. It can make any helmet extremely quiet, and you can still hear. I can still hear my music, if I listen to music with my Cardo Freecom 2X, I have it Bluetooth to my phone, and I'll listen to like, you know, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever. But if you have that going, if you have the speakers going in your helmet, I can still hear it no problem, even with the earplugs in. I can hear the engine of the motorcycle, so I know when to shift. I can hear my exhaust. This bike isn't that loud, but I can hear it, everything I need to. I can also hear sirens and horns and all the things that I need to hear. So if anyone has told you that riding with earplugs is unsafe, and so you have to look at these fancy, expensive earplugs like Earpiece, it's not true. Just ride with the foam earplugs that I'm going to link in the description, and I promise you, you'll be able to hear everything that you need to hear. And what it does is you can still hear things that you need to hear, but it cuts down on the wind noise and the fatigue, the kind of the blast of the wind on a longer ride. For example, most of the rides, you know, if I go out and take a ride, you know, just to clear my head for mental health, you know, just to take a good ride, I want it to last at least 2 hours, right? That's a good ride. They're not always that long, but I try to do 2 hours. So if I have a 2-hour long ride, I used to come home even with a motorcycle with a full windshield. I had a Indian Chief vintage. It had a huge windshield on it, and I could ride, you know, for hours on that thing. But if I didn't ride with earplugs, after an hour or two, I would find that I was absolutely deaf. I would come home at the end of my ride, and I couldn't hear anything. It was scary. It was like it took me a while to get my hearing back. And I don't know if it was like my body shutting my hearing down to protect it or what, but I couldn't hear anything for a long time after a ride. And that really worried me. Not to mention I was exhausted, like completely fatigued after a 2-hour ride. And it shouldn't be that way. If you ride with earplugs, it like gives you it completely takes all that tiring part out of it, out of the ride. And you'll find that you can ride a lot longer and be a lot more alert. You won't be tired, you won't be worn out, you'll feel good just from riding with earplugs. So that kind of makes me think that other than a full face helmet and gear, riding with earplugs is probably the biggest thing that you can do, the simplest and cheapest thing that you can do to ride, to be safe, to ride longer with less fatigue, to be more alert, and to be able to push through a longer ride. And the bonus is that you're not deaf at the end of the ride, and you're also not deaf at the end of your life. I'm sure you know some older folks who have lost all their hearing, and it's from repeated exposure to hearing loss. You know, like once you lose it, you can't get it back. You can put your hearing aids in, but that's a pain. And now you're just amplifying your hearing. So the best thing you can do is take care of your hearing. Protect it the best you can. Whether you're riding a motorcycle, whether you're mowing the lawn, shooting a gun, like all these things, you need to make sure that you're wearing proper hearing protection. And for years, I'm 23 years I've been riding, and for several years, at least 10 of those years probably, I never would ride with earplugs. For 3 years, I rode a police motorcycle and a half helmet, and I never wore hearing protection. Um, and I guarantee you, I have experienced significant hearing loss from that alone. And so I would just implore you, strongly encourage you, that if you aren't riding with earplugs now, uh, that you consider doing it. That you start doing it right away. You can order these. They're super cheap. They're like $10, $12. I can't remember for a box. They last forever. Like one set, as long as I don't lose them, will last me for at least 6 months before they get like nasty, or maybe they aren't bouncing back as well as they used to. The foam kind of starts to wear out. It doesn't have the resistance to the compression that it used to have, and that's when you want to, throw them out and put on a new pair. No big deal, right? But I'm telling you, like, it is a game changer to ride with earplugs. It is the best kept secret in motorcycling, is riding with earplugs. I promise you, it will change your game. And I don't care how quiet you think your helmet is now. Wait until you put in a set of earplugs and ride. You will thank me. I guarantee it. And you will still be able to hear anything that you need to. The only thing that can be a little bit difficult riding with earplugs is if you're trying to have a conversation with another rider, or with a person who maybe pulls up next to you at a stoplight, in a car, and you're trying to talk to them. That can be a little tricky. Now, it's already tricky with a full face helmet, right? It's hard to hear, but it can be tricky because they're going to have to yell, and you might have to yell back, but not a lot. But I'm just saying that, like, that's the only drawback to riding with earplugs. But if you're like me, like, I don't really want to talk to anybody anyway when I'm riding. So I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to know what you think. Do you ride with earplugs? Did you start later in life like I did? Or have you always ridden with earplugs and that's all you've ever known? Have you never, ever, ever ridden with earplugs and you're adamantly against it? If that's the case, please tell me why. Because I'm just curious. I know for a long time I thought it was just a pain to just do, have one more thing to do. It's like gear. Gear is a pain because you got to put on a coat, a jacket. You got to put on gloves. You got to put on all this stuff. Like, I get it, but you can't pick your crash. And if you're prepared, then you'll be in better shape, right? It might save your skin from being ripped off by the road surface. Same with hearing, although the damage happens over time, but you will have an immediate result of no more post-ride fatigue, no more post-ride deafness, and you're saving your long-term hearing. It is a win, win, win all day long. It's something I feel so strongly about, and that's why I wanted to share it with you today. So I hope that you don't think that I'm trying to sell you some $10 earplugs that I don't get any profit on, which I don't. I hope that you strongly consider starting to ride with earplugs for the sake of your own hearing and for your own safety. longer rides especially. But yeah, guys, please let me know what you think about riding with earplugs. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Absolutely.
Take my helmet off. Set the helmet down. Okay, then I take off the gaiter. Be a lot easier with two hands. But then I neatly fold the gaiter. Before I do that, I'm gonna take my earplugs out. One, two. Place them right there in the gaiter. Fold it up. Fold it again. Fold it again. Then I'm going to place it inside my helmet and place the gloves on top of that. Okay. Now, good to go. Um, see, the gloves won't fall out. I mean, if I shake it really hard, then yeah, it's gonna fall. They're gonna fall out, but they're not gonna fall out. And just kind of moving around, it should be fine. So this is kind of how I operate every day, and just wanted to share that with you guys. Strongly recommend that you consider getting to ride with earplugs. I promise you, it's a game changer. So again, thanks so much for joining today. If you haven't subscribed to Rev Moto, please consider subscribing, and give this video a like. That really helps me out. God bless, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.